So I want to talk to you about the murder itself. So you heard mention in the Dead Op, or the Foolio Dead drill rap video by Spinabins and Wappa with the Choppa, the one that started with the blue screen. What you're looking at on the upper part of that screen, you can see Embassy Suites, USF, you can see the USF Research Park. That's Fowler, and that is the main entrance to the University of South Florida's campus. This is all just to the east of Bruce B. Downs, right? To the lower part, you have an extension of 40th Street, which becomes McKinley. And right there on the corner, you heard them mentioning Holiday Inn, which is running horizontal. Next to it is a vertical building. That is the Home to Suites. And it is on the very south end, or the bottom of the photograph, on that vertical building. There is a portico there, an entrance to that hotel. That is where the shooting in this case occurs. Now, in this photograph, you can see on the far left, there is a La Quinta Inn. That becomes relevant in the state's case because one of these high-powered rifle rounds went all the way across and went through and into a room, and there was recovered projectiles. This is more of a close-up. Now, on the bottom of the photograph, you can see, to the bottom right, you can see an entrance into the Home to Suites parking lot from McKinley. And you can see right at the bottom of the building a square offset. That is the roof of the portico, the entrance to the hotel. Just a more close-up photograph. So I want to walk through several videos with you that were recovered in the investigation by the Tampa Police Department here in Tampa that show what's occurring. Unfortunately, my laser pointer is not, well, maybe it will. It actually is working a little bit. Okay, usually LED screens will absorb the laser. So you're going to see here, you're going to see the Dodge Charger, Mr. Jones Dodge Charger, pulling into the portico. And you can see up here, that's a few minutes off. It's actually around 4:34, 4:35 a.m. in the morning. It's June 23rd of 2024. But he's pulling into that portico, having just turned off southbound McKinley. You can see here, this is a Hyundai that'll go down, turn around, and come up behind him. That's being driven by Armani, who is his, Armani Turner, excuse me, who is his girlfriend.
But yes,
I can't see the laser.
Oh, yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't work great on the LED screen.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So
What you're describing, I can't.
Yeah, I thought that might happen, Your Honor, with the jurors in the back
that's fine.
row.
So just, Mr. Harmer will try and be as descriptive as he can, okay?
Yeah. So if you're looking at the car with the tail lights lit up, that's the Hyundai on the top of the screen. That's outside of the portico. It's going to continue in the direction it's pointing. It'll do a U-turn, a sharp U-turn, and pull in right behind Charles Jones' Dodge Charger. Mr. Jones is in the front passenger seat. The car is being driven by his friend Xavier Edwards. The car that is sitting there already in the portico belongs to an employee. That's unrelated to the case. And this steaming coming off there, that's coming from the building. It has nothing to do with the cars. You're going to see Mr. Jones. He's wearing a red knit cap. He's wearing a white t-shirt. You will see him exit the Charger and walk into the hotel. So what happens is, while they were out that night, he had made a reservation, but because they arrived so late, it was given away. In this video, you'll see him return. In some instances, the video is being accelerated slightly, like right now. there's a car pulling in to the parking lot and going northbound. That becomes very relevant, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. This car, a Nissan Altima, is being driven by two of Mr. Jones' friends. They had gone around to the other side of the hotel and were just coming back. You're going to see an individual named Taifa or Taifa McCrae and Miss Albritton, who is dressed in a all-pink suit, who are friends of Mr. Jones. They exit and they go into the hotel to use the restroom, and they're actually inside the lobby when the shooting occurs. When Taifa got out of the front seat of the Altima, another young lady, Camilla Bentley, slid in behind him in the front seat. Now you're going to see another car come by. This is a small silver Chevy Cruze. This you will find in the evidence is the surveillance tracker vehicle that was utilized by these conspirators, by these defendants, to follow, to track and stalk Mr. Jones and his friends, giving real-time, by communications, by phone, real-time location data and information about where he would be. This car passes by, being driven by defendant Isaiah Chance, his girlfriend. You saw her earlier. Miss Andrews is in the front passenger seat. The assault team is already present on the west side of the hotel. That was the car that had pulled in earlier and went northbound and did not pass the portico. This is a mounted camera, by the way, folks, on the hotel that's facing east-southeast. If you look in the upper right part of the screen by the two palm trees, you're going to see right before the shooting happens a masked individual's face pop out. The evidence in this case will show that is defendant Rashad Murphy. He is the Glock shooter. This is the beginning of the, well, actually it's not. First we're going to see the Chevy Cruze come by. And then the Chevy Cruze will do a three-point turn. You'll see that in other video evidence shortly, and it turns around and goes back out. And now it's exiting. Mr. Chance drives right past the victim and exits the parking lot of the hotel literally within seconds of the murder occurring and starting. You will see him exiting to the right, going southbound on McKinley. The evidence will show that he goes down, he does a U-turn and comes back north on McKinley and passes the hotel just before the shooting begins. There's the shooter. Xavier Edwards tries to escape from the shooting. You can see the other two cars, one being driven by Camilla Bentley, who's going forward, the other one being driven by Armani Turner, who's going backwards. In their haste to flee from the shooting, they actually collide with each other, and they both end up going southbound on McKinley. They go different directions. Now, this is what I was talking about, where by the palm trees you will see a head pop out right before the full appearance of the shooters. That is Rashad Murphy. You will see another shooter run over to that tree just to the center of the video screen, just to the right of that Lexus SUV. The evidence will show in this case that that is defendant Gathright. On the top of the screen, you see a Mercedes SUV and a yellow car, and you see an individual moving around. The evidence will show that is the defendant, Davion Murphy, who was firing. And you can see in this evidence that Mr. Edwards attempts desperately to flee from these shooters, but what he actually does is he drives directly into a crossfire, a vortex, if you will, of high-powered rifle fire. The car flees down the west side of the hotel, heading north. Now, just around the corner, wrapping around to the west side of the hotel, the attack team parks the car. They get out and move into position coming around to that corner. As they move through there, they pass a Tesla. This is a video from a Tesla. There are multiple screens and videos you will see from this Tesla, which was in sentry mode, activated and recorded. Officers met with the owner the next morning, who showed them this video on the screen inside of the Tesla, and they were able to collect this video. In this instance, and you can see to the far right, you can see a charging station with cables hanging off of it. You will see in the grass area by the charging station, you will see Davion Murphy running by, holding a rifle, wearing all black with an orange ski mask. And he's heading up to that area by that yellow Bronco and the Mercedes SUV, where he later pops out. Now, in a minute, you're going to see Xavier Edwards accelerating that Dodge Charger around the corner. You'll see its headlights sweep across those, I believe, probably cypress trees right there. There comes the headlights. He is now fleeing up the west-northwest side of the Home to Suites. You're going to see Mr. Murphy, Davion Murphy, unload with that rifle down the west side of that hotel. Mr. Jones' Charger, after being impounded and transported to the Tampa Police Department, impound lot, all of those yellow marks, other than the ones on the hinges, are going to be impacts. So you see Ms. Turner, Mr. Jones' girlfriend in the upper left. She was in the Hyundai. Ms. Randolph, her friend, was in the Hyundai. And Robert Howard, who is a friend of Charles Jones, was in the Hyundai with those women, sitting directly behind the Dodge Charger. You see Tafa McCrae and Aaliyah Albritton, the woman who was in the pink outfit, who were in the Nissan Altima. Xavier Edwards was wounded. He was shot in his right arm. He had a grazing wound to his head, shot in the shoulder. This is him at the hospital being treated. Sustained multiple gunshot wounds. And you can see lacerations from glass or projectiles to his left hand. He is one of the victims of one of the attempted murder counts charged against Davion and Rashad Murphy and against Sean Gathright. Gino Norris. Mr. Norris is a longtime friend of Charles Jones, going back several years into their youth. He was in the back seat of the Charger. He had come with Mr. Edwards, and Mr. Jones had traveled here from Jacksonville to celebrate the birthday. When they arrived here, it was on Friday night, and they stayed at an Airbnb in Pinellas County. The next day, they stayed at an Airbnb in Pasco County and Holiday. I'm going to show you here shortly where Mr. Jones was posting on his Instagram account that he would be here in Tampa. He actually appeared at a couple of clubs and put party for his birthday party that Saturday of this weekend. That would have been the 22nd of June 2024 at the Airbnb, and you'll see in the Instagram post he was advising people that follow him, send me a DM and I'll send you the address. So they actually did, and a lot of people showed up at that Airbnb. And that's why they were trying to find lodging at the Home to Suites later that night after Mr. Jones had made these appearances, which we'll discuss in a minute. But Mr. Norris had traveled here with his friend Charles Jones and with Mr. Edwards. He was in the back seat. Mr. Jones was shot in the right arm. He is also one of the victims of the 3 attempted murder counts against the shooters in this case. Now, when Mr. Edwards and Mr. Gino Norris, when that Charger came to a stop finally, they quickly realized that Charles Jones was gone. He died very fast. Been woke up by the crashing of the Dodge Charger. You will see that as it went up the northwest side of the hotel, there was a curb and a grass area where there's a dumpster. It went right over the curb, right through that grassy area, and into a north area where there's another. Out of the car, and they run from these shooters because they don't know where they are. They run into a Holiday Inn, and they leave a massive blood trail that leads into that Holiday Inn, which police would later follow when they arrive because of the multiple 911 calls being generated from all of the noise of the gunfire. Now, Camilla Bentley, I told you, had slid into the driver's seat. You can see these impacts from gunfire to the rear window of the Altima. That rear window would have been closest to the shooters. Miss Bentley was also wounded. She is our 4th victim. This is her in the hospital being treated for a bullet grazing wound to her right upper arm. Now, going back, I told you I would show you, and you will see in the evidence, Mr. Jones' Instagram account, and you can see the name Julio Foolio. That's his celebrity name, his rap name, and his street name. He is advertising that he is going to be appearing at Teasers. You see that in the middle of the advertisement on Nebraska Avenue, 9700 North Nebraska Avenue.